I was planning on making this video for tomorrow, but I just can't help but just ask this question. And it's a sincere question for Quebecers to pontificate and reflect a little bit. But I must say, I still don't understand why the fuck you guys even voted for Lego. What was the appeal with this guy 4 years ago? I for the life of me, I just don't get it. I have my reasons why I voted for the conservatives at the time, but I'm still not understanding why people put an X in a box for a dude that started a party back in 2013 and got elected, what is it, like 4 years now? Like 5 years after that. Like, I'm not really understanding the appeal with Lego. An ex-Pikist starts his own party, but this party was merged with the ADQ, and he's bringing that old school philosophy of language Nazism into a new party, just revamped and packaged, under literally the name Coalition Avenir du Québec. It's literally right there. And the point of this was to bring both sides together, the English versus French, language Nazi versus Federalist, because you knew that this was a time where people were divided. Like, yes, we were divided. A coalition is supposed to be a thing of bringing fucking. Let's see, they're still advertising this shit. Anyways, to bring both sides together to come to an understanding under one Quebec. Well, that seemed really tactful. Tactical of him, rather. Actually, tactical or practical, whatever it was. It was good marketing. I mean, clearly, you guys could see he's a boomer. You know that he's been in the game for a long time. He knows what to do. But again, what was the appeal here? What was the appeal? Why did you guys vote for him? Were you fed up of libtards versus PQ? Is that all it was, and then you wanted to give this guy a chance, but not recognizing that he was a flip-flopper? Like, he didn't say anything about being a separatist, but he did say that he's a nationalist. And I remember making a series called Big Trouble Little Quebec, looking at each party's platforms. And he did admit, they did put, well, we are a nationalist party. So how could you call yourself a coalition to bring both sides together and call yourself a nationalist party? That, like, again, it's a little bit weird. And I have the receipts on this, so I'll probably put it in the description. And it might be a bit of a long video, and excuse the hair too, but regardless of that, I really, I don't get it. And if I had to look at it from a libertarian's perspective, let's be honest. What has Lego offered as a premiere? People don't think like this is the fucking problem. People don't think like this when they're voting for a dude that they're going to vote. Like, you're not voting for the guy, you're voting for the party. It's too fucking bad you're not voting for the guy himself. See, that would be a hell of a lot better, because I just found out that this last year, rather, that the municipal elections, it was direct. You were voting for that person. That's how it is in the United States. Here, you're only voting for the fucking party, the person that is who represents your writing, that is running for that party. So I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer that direct one-on-one. At least one of the things the United States fucking got right. But that's the thing. Quebecers don't understand that you are in these elections and you're practically telling these political gangs who's going to have a job without really looking at the point, looking at it from that point rather, and understanding that these people may or may not have that merit or the qualities to actually be doing this. Like, how could people not think like that? If I have to think about it rationally in this regard, what has Legault done to earn premiership? Well, all he did was just put his name in the fucking ring and then he got it. Because at the time, people were, again, je ne sais quoi, I don't know why they voted for him. I think people wanted change. They wanted something different. They wanted a new face. But I had my suspicions, and unfortunately, it was all on an intuitive level. I can't really, that it's not sufficient, but, when your intuition tells you something, it ain't gonna lie to you. And I saw a few weird things that were odd. How is it that 4 years ago, this was the first election cycle where we were not talking about separation, and we had our first televised English debate colorized, which is actually quite a fucking insult for the English people, because why? We weren't important in the past? Like, why was this the first televised English debate? That shouldn't have been a thing for the first time. That should have always been a thing, as we're paying taxes to be funding to operate the infrastructure of Quebec. Like, is that what I'm supposed to believe? Is this part of that social contract that I didn't sign up for? Okay, I digress. So, Legault is not valuable. Like, as a premier, he's not a real leader. He's a tyrant. You could just see that with the language crap. And just extending more powers and government overreach to the OQLF. Gee, where have we seen that before? Not as if other parties haven't done the same thing, let alone the libtards, because they have to capitulate to the French, because they are the majority. Oh, but you guys are the Federalist Party. Right. Okay, I see where this is going. So, as a leader, he has done nothing. Even with the name Coalition, Avenir du Québec is an oxymoron at this point, because you have divided Quebecers even more. You have offered nothing of true value, not of merit, not of talent, not on capital. None of it. So why should I be taking this guy seriously any further? Looking at it from a job, like that type of management point of view. And it's so funny. Again, I hate to bring up this talking point, but it's very important that I bring it up. Again, same province that likes to say Vive le Québec libre, but freedom is slavery. If that were to be true, if you guys did believe in freedom, then that would be reflected within the culture, within the values of the people, which these guys, again, it's like what George Carlin said, these politicians don't just come out of the sky. They come from the public, because if you're going to bitch about them, well, maybe the public sucks. Well, if you guys believed in freedom, then you would have people who are in the game reflecting off of that. It's a feedback loop. So where's the Vive le Québec libre in 2022 here? I just find it quite fascinating that all the amount of heads that have been cut off of this hydra is finally showing. And some people are kind of like, is this really the Quebec that we're in? Well, yeah, this is what you guys have created. This is what you ignored. This is what you're not getting. So at a certain point, when are we going to shift the paradigm and bring that power back to the people? Well, bitch, you always had the power. You just need to know how to use it and recognize it. This guy is undeserving of this power because he's abused it. It's as Sun Tzu had stated, leaders lead by example, not through force. This guy the state literally walks in your business telling you all these health edicts, but it's done nothing but to screw with your business and put stress on you for fucking nothing. It's the same logic with the OQLF. So where's the freedom in all of this? I really don't understand, like, the minds of Quebecers. I sincerely don't. I'm not even going to bother reading this, but I think the party support polls, again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's cherry picked, but the support should be much lower. And the fact that the Conservative Party is neck and neck with the PQ, and they're above it, that's quite hilarious. Parti Québécois are just a fucking joke. This is like the language Nazis of yesteryear. No one gives a fuck about them. Quebec Solidaire, those guys are kind of dangerous too, actually. They're communists, they're separatists. It's kind of like the semi-youth wing. I mean, semi-youth only because it's filled with millennials about my age, like the later millennials, and they're at 14%. Now, I'm not shilling for the conservatives or anything, but I'm just here to tell you guys that there's shit happening in Quebec. But what I'm more interested in is sharing these views and having to start a better paradigm for the people, by the people. Liberty-minded Quebecers that are fed up of this crap, that are in a system where they are forced to do things that they don't believe in, that are not fair, and it's bullshit, and they want to do something about it. And it has to do with an uprising from the bottom up. And so you have to take things into your own hands. And I'm not just talking about, well, forget about the French for a sec. I'm talking about the Anglophones. I'm talking about us. That the things that we have created, those are rightfully ours. We have earned it. We keep what is rightfully ours. And we have power. Self-limitation, self-limiting thoughts are not going to help you. Just like being black-pilled, it's not going to help you. It's bullshit. Just like Lego saying he was going to implement a vax tax was the biggest crock of shit that I knew there was something a little sketchy about that. Like, bitch, you're going to tax pregnant women. You're going to tax kids. How are you going to implement that? Like, with all of this shit that's happening here, you're seeing the heads off of this hydra that is happening here in Quebec. And I'm so glad that the world is seeing the joke that Canada is. But forget about Canada. Bring the fight to the provinces. It's the provinces that have that where the fight is. Forget about Trudeau. We all know he's a meek, weak little bitch that has no inherent value himself. He's a bitch. Okay, I could even beat him in a boxing match, and this guy's not even having a soy diet. How much did his testosterone fucking drop for the past 7 years? Jesus Christ, 7 years of this guy. But I don't want to be having 7 years of this fucking dude. He has been nothing but illegitimate, undeserving, delegitimate, a tyrant. And so, again, Quebecers that are liberty-minded have to realize you have power. You are better than these language Nazis. You're going to have to start being a little bit more creative and understanding that these guys are not there for you. You have to do the work yourself. It's got to be a struggle, and it's unfortunate, but what else can we do? There's no point in arguing. There's no point in this crap. If you want to vote, go for it. But for me, I would rather just be living my life, and I'm slowly I'm slowly working on my plan. So as far as I'm concerned, you gotta start off somewhere. But this guy, with all the amount of BS, he should have been forced out of office a long fucking time ago. But I hope Quebecers are gonna be realizing that this man here ain't your fucking guy. And yes, we need a paradigm shift for us. You guys want to be a real free Quebec? Well, prove it and show me. Then we'll start talking. Melt up your ass and peace the fuck out.